Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and today I'm reading Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. I'm on chapter 2. What page is chapter 2? And that's why there's, hold on. Give me a second. Chapter 2 is on page 24. Pew, pew, pew. That's why reading is important, guys. Okay, there we go. Chapter 22. Don't wait until you know who you are to get started. Period. What we are, what we want to be. You see that leap? Because we're leaping to the next chapter. Think about it. Make things know thyself. If I waited to know who I was or what I was before I started being creative, well, I'd still be sitting around trying to figure out myself instead of making things. In my experience, it's the act of making things and doing your work that we figure out who we are. You're ready. Start making stuff. You might be scared to start. That's natural. There's this very real thing that runs rampant in educated people. It's called imposter syndrome. The clinical definition is a psychological phenomenon in which people are unable to internalize their accomplishments. It seems that you're like a phony, like you're just winging it, that you really don't have any idea what you're doing. Guess what? None of us do. Ask anybody doing truly creative work and they'll tell you the truth. They don't know where the good stuff comes from. They just show up to do their thing every day. Fake it till you make it. Have you ever heard of dramaturgy? It's a fancy term for something William Shakespeare spelled out in his play As You Like It about 400 years ago. All the world's stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts. Period. Another way to say this, fake it till you make it. I love this phrase. There are two ways to read it. One, pretend to be something you're not until you are. Fake it until you're successful, until everyone sees you the way you want them to. Or two, pretend to be something until you actually make something. Or pretend to be making something until you actually make something. I love both readings. You have to dress for the job you want, not for the job you have. And you have to start doing the work you want to be doing. I also love this book, Just Kids, by the musician Patti Smith. It's a story about how two best friends who wanted to be artists moved to New York. You know how they learned to be artists? You have to start as a phony and become real. Glenn O'Brien. The script, the props, the stage. They pretended to be artists. In my favorite scene from the book gets its title, Patti Smith and her friend, the photographer Robert Mapplethorpe, dress up in all their hippie gear and go to Washington Square Park, where everyone's hanging out. This old touristy couple is gawking at them. The wife says to the husband, take their picture. I think they're artists. Oh, go on. The husband disagrees. They're just kids. The point is, all the world's a stage. Creative work is a kind of theater. The stage is your studio, your desk, or your workstation. The costume is your outfit, your painting pants, your business suit, or the funny hat that helps you think. The props are your materials, your tools, and your medium. The script is just plain old time. An hour here or an hour there, just measure time out of things to happen. Fake it till you make it. Start copying. Nobody is born with a style or a voice. We don't come out the womb knowing who we are. In the beginning, we learn by pretending to be our heroes. We learn by copying. We're talking about practice here, not plagiarism there. Plagiarism is trying to pass someone else's work off as your own. Copying is about reverse engineering. It's like a mechanic taking apart a car to see how it works. Start copying what you love. Copy, 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 copy. At the end of the copy, you will find yourself. The human hand is incapable of making a perfect copy. He's making stars, but they're all different. Not each one is the same. Excuse me. We learn to write by copying down the alphabet. Musicians learn to play by practicing scales. Painters learn to paint by reproducing masterpieces. Remember, even the Beatles started off as a cover band. Paul McCartney has said, I emulated Buddy Holly, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis. We all did. McCartney and his partner John Lennon became one of the greatest songwriting teams in history. But as McCartney recalls, they only started writing their own songs as a way to avoid other bands being able to play our set. As Salvador Dali said, those who do not want to imitate anything produce nothing, period. First, you have to figure out who to copy. Second, you have to figure out what to copy. Who to copy is easy. You copy your heroes, the people you love, the people you're inspired by, the people you want to be. The songwriter Nick Lowe says, you start out by rewriting your heroes catalog. Why am I messing up? And you don't just steal from one of your heroes. You steal from all of them. The writer Wilson Mitzner said if you copy from one author, it's plagiarism. But if you copy from many, it's research. I once heard the cartoonist Gary Painter said, if you have one person you're influenced by, everyone will say you're the next whoever. But if you rip off 100 people, everyone say, oh, you're so original. What to copy is a bit trickier. Don't just steal the style. Steal the thinking behind the style. You don't want to look like your heroes. You want to see like your hero. Oh, that's good. You don't want to look like your heroes. You want to see them. Because Superman, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could just look like Superman. But how can I think like Superman? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's deep. The reason to copy your heroes and their style is so that you might somehow get a glimpse into their minds. That's what you really want, to internalize their way of looking at the world. If you just mimic the surface of somebody's work without understanding where they come from, your work will never be anything more than a knockoff. That's like how what actors do. Like when they have to embody like a real person from the past, it's like they have to really think how they, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, breathe. Actors do that all the time when they're trying to embody a role of someone that has previous lived or still living or whatever to captivate them. They have to think like them because the whole point of actor's job is to make people empathetic to that character or why they do the things they do. You know what I'm saying? Imitation is not flattery. We want you to take from us. We want you at first to steal from us because you can't steal. You will take what we give you and you'll put it in your own voice, and that's how you find your voice, and that's how you begin. And then one day someone will steal from you. Francis Ford Coppola. At some point, you'll have to move from imitating your heroes to emulating them. Imitation is about copying. Emulation is when imitation goes one step further, breaking through your own thing. There isn't a move that's a new move. The basketball star Kobe Bryant admitted that all of his moves on the court were stolen from watching tapes of his heroes. But initially, when Bryant stole a lot of the moves, he realized he couldn't completely pull them off because he didn't have the same body type as the guys he was thieving from. He had to adapt the moves to make them his own. Conan O'Brien has talked about how comedians try to emulate their heroes, fall short, and end up doing their own thing. Johnny Carson tried to be Jack Benny, but ended up Johnny Carson. David Letterman tried to copy Johnny Carson, but ended up David Letterman. And Conan O'Brien tried to be David Letterman and ended up Conan O'Brien. In O'Brien's words, it is our failure to become. Good theft versus bad theft, honor, degrade, study, scheme, steal from many, steal from one, credit, plagiarism, transform, imitate, remix, ripoff. I have stolen all of these moves from all the great players. I just try to be, why am I doing this like y'all can? I just try to do them proud. The guys who came before, because I learned so much from them. It's all in the name of the game. It's a lot bigger than me. And then reading off. It is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique. Thank goodness. A wonderful flaw about human beings is that we're incapable of making perfect copies. Our failure to copy our heroes is where we discover where our own thing lives. That is how we evolve. So, copy your heroes, examine where you fall short, what's in there that makes you different. That's what you should amplify and transform in your own work. In the end, merely imitate your heroes is not flattering them. Transforming their work into something of your own is how you flatter them. Adding something to the world that you can only add. Okay, so I'm stopping there. So the next chapter is write the book you want to read, period. And what's so crazy, I want to write a book. Honestly, my mind's all over the place though, but I know eventually I will write a book. Probably 2, 3 bestsellers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, again, my name is Mistress Lavender. Thank you for letting me read this book. What a time we had. I did read very fast. I had a lot of saliva in my mouth, so my bad. But yeah, tomorrow I'll read a little bit more. And yeah, but since you're still here, you might as well like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your post notifications on and let me know. Did you have the book? Are you reading with me? Do you not have the book? If you don't, you should get it so we can read along. But yeah, if you're not reading this book, what book are you reading? These are the questions I need to know. Have a great day. Bye.